Thanks, Philip, and welcome to Today in Putnam County, the show that's talking about all the great things happening in our community. I'm Randy Porter, your host. Hope you're having a great weekend. My guest today is Monterey Mayor Bill Wiggins. Good morning, Bill.
Good morning, sir.
Thank you for being on the show and coming down from Monterey off the mountain this morning.
Thanks for the invite. My ears are still popping coming out of the higher elevations.
Got that elevation change.
Absolutely.
That's a big one, isn't it? We got lots to talk about this morning. We're interviewing Mayor Wiggins about the things going on in Monterey. Lots of good things going on right now. But Mayor, let's start out. The Wiggins have a long history in the city of Monterey when it comes to public service. You're the third generation mayor, is that correct?
I am.
So you're the mayor, your son was the mayor, and was it your father?
My father, yes.
Is that's got to be historical? I'm guessing that hasn't happened before.
Of the three of us, I expect my son Ken holds the record. He served the most consecutive years of any mayor. He served 9 years.
Wow.
I have no aspirations to eclipse that.
You don't want to break his record.
I do not, and as far as a dynasty, it will die with me.
It's going to be in with you.
I think so.
Your dad, do you remember what years he served?
Dad served off years.
Yeah.
I can tell you about one of his major accomplishments.
Sure.
Is when Monterey decided to get into the long-term care business.
Yes.
And that was in 1975. He engineered a deal with the old Farmers Home Administration. I think that's called Rural Development now with USDA.
Yes.
They got an FHA loan and built the Standing Stone Healthcare Center.
Some of our listeners may not know that Monterey City actually owns
We do.
the Standing Stone Healthcare Center, and you lease it out to a company.
We lease
that
it out
operates.
to an operator. Yes, we do. And currently that is Signature. The ink is just drying on a new lease agreement that will be in effect for 10 more years.
Is that profitable for the city?
We do make money, but we don't want to let Signature know how much.
Keep that a secret. It's all about having the health care for the residents up there.
Yes.
In Monterey. Standing Stone, long time healthcare system. I didn't know that about your dad.
Yeah, that was one of his major feats.
Well, that's great.
One of his passions.
Let's talk about some of yours. I think, and I spend a lot of time with you in meetings, and both in Monterey and here in Putnam County and other places. I think there's more going on in Monterey right now than I remember in my lifetime, with all the new businesses and new things happening. So let's talk about those. Probably the number one that I see and hear talked about the most is Bank of Putnam County and the new facility they're building. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Jack Ray and the Bank of Putnam County have taken on a quarter of our 4-block downtown business district. They are occupying one whole block, building a handsome structure which will house their operations for the whole Bank of Putnam County empire. And as I speak about an empire, they are slowly moving eastward into Morgan County, into Anderson County, into Scott County, Rowan County, and they're going to be about 50 to 60 people working at that center, I understand. They have a projected opening date, or a grand opening, for August 17th.
Mm-hmm.
And one unique feature of this construction is Jack chose to keep the facade of the old Bank of Monterey. And housed there on the lower level, is my understanding, will be a museum. The Bank of Putnam County, as you know, advertises the oldest bank in Putnam County. So I'm sure that museum will be full of rich reminders and artifacts of days of yore. Upstairs, of course, will be office space.
That's created a revitalization of downtown Monterey.
It's having a ripple effect. Maybe it's not manifested yet in actual construction or painting or whatever,
Right.
but people are talking and folks are looking at their storefronts and making some plans. Yes, indeed.
It's amazing to watch that construction take place with a whole city block going to one facility with the Bank of Putnam County to do a great job, and oldest bank that there is here in the county, and expanding. I know in talking to Mr. Ray and some of those folks, Monterey is kind of the center. When you look at their service area, they think that they can all drive to Monterey about as quick as they can go anywhere in their region, and so that's kind of going to be the hub for all their employees and officers to come and meet.
It is. Not only will you have people reporting for work there during the work week, you'll have folks coming in from all of their installations, wherever they are, coming into town to go there, and yeah, they'll do a little business there while they're there. They may want to eat, gas up, maybe stay overnight. Who knows?
That's going to be great for Monterey, I think.
It is. It's a great catalyst. It gives us an incentive to push forward, and we're trying to do that.
Hey, you definitely are. Fred's, I was up for the ribbon cutting of the new Fred's recently last year. Save-A-Lot replaced their building after, I think they had a fire at the location. They're back open. Did I see something about a new Taco Bell, I believe, coming to Monterey?
Taco Bell announced that they're coming to Monterey. The last official word we have is that construction, or at least site preparation, should begin sometime this month in March. I expect that's been delayed a little bit by all the rain we're having. And also, there's storage pods on the property now, owned by the Bank of Putnam County, which is full of furnishings and all sorts of memorabilia and other odds and ends that will be stored or displayed in the new bank building. So they're nearing the point where they can move those pods off. So we still expect, based on conversations with our codes officer and our utility people, that they're pretty much on schedule.
Great.
And if they start construction this month, I think you can expect, after watching Taco Bell's pop up, maybe 6 weeks, maybe a month, 2 months.
Sometime,
they could be up and
definitely
running.
sometime this year.
Oh yeah, definitely. Open for business.
One other, Dream Desserts.
We have a bakery in town, of all things. This young couple came here from Mount Juliet. They bought some acreage out on Highway 62 near our Meadow Creek Park, and they decided to go in business. They bring skills with them, and I've tasted some of their work. It's larping, as we say.
We're going to be adding some pounds to the people in Monterey with the new bakery.
We're in the girth up there, in the girth.
We're talking to Monterey Mayor Bill Wiggins today on Today in Putnam County, right here on News Talk 107.7 and 1400 The Hub. Lots more to come with Mayor Wiggins in just a moment. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. I'm your host, County Executive Randy Porter. The show's talking about all the great things happening in our community. Hope you're having a great weekend. My guest today is Monterey Mayor Bill Wiggins. We've been talking about all the great things that are happening in Monterey City, and especially with new businesses coming to Monterey. Bill, we have some existing businesses, though, in Monterey that are celebrating some major milestones. Cumberland Container?
Cumberland Container is celebrating 50 years.
50 years.
On the mountain. I distinctly remember this business when it was in its infancy. I was working for LBJ&C Development Corporation and Mr. Eugene Jarrett. They were pursuing small business administration money to get started and to open a facility out on Industrial Drive, just past where Purdue is now. I did just a little work on that, but enough to not boast, but I had a little part in that. But anyway, those folks, they have grown. They have that huge installation on the Hanging Limb Highway. They work about 99 people, which is significant in Monterey. I met with the Jareds the other day, and he showed me a picture. They're getting ready to bring in a machine that weighs 65 tons
65
to do
tons.
all sorts of revolutionary kinds of things in the packaging industry. So this business is very much alive, innovative, and looking ahead.
All in Monterey.
Yes, sir.
All in Monterey. That's great to see a business that celebrating 50 years is a major accomplishment.
It is. And Mark Jared is
yes.
Eugene's son. Mark is heading it up now.
Well,
I'm sure much to his dad's delight.
congratulations,
He's doing a
Mark
fantastic
and
job.
Cumberland Container. Also, you have the Purdue plant that's still going strong in Monterey.
They're still going strong, enlarging their markets. It's a cyclical kind of thing. Sometimes a contract will go away and then they'll replace it. And then the workforce is back up to speed. But they're holding their own.
That's great. Something I saw the other day with Monterey. Monterey's going green. New solar panel farms, did I hear about?
Yeah, that doesn't mean we're not ripe up there.
But you're going green to try to conserve.
This is one of my passions. It makes sense to me to dive right into renewable energy. And why in the world would people let the sun shine up there and not take advantage of what it can do for you?
Absolutely.
So Monterey entered into a contract with a solar power company. Currently we have 3 facilities up and running. Running, I mean generating. These are 50 kilowatt hour facilities on city installations. We have one atop the emergency services building in Monterey. We have another at the sewer plant. And we have another at the water intake system out on the Hanging Limb Highway next to the city lake there. Those are up and running. We've already seen some significant reduction in power bills. Now we're exploring the possibility of a solar farm on a part of the industrial park up behind Purdue. And we're looking forward there to maybe a 2 to 3 megawatt facility.
That's huge.
Right now we're running the traps, talking with TVA and the other entities that you have to clear to get this accomplished. And again, we were looking for a prospective customer, and our search ended as we stood up there and looked, and there was Purdue.
Wow.
So we're making contact with Purdue. Early on, they were very interested because they did a little fast number crunching. Yes.
It's going to be
so
good.
We're nowhere near any kind of agreements, but we're certainly laying the groundwork to have a solar installation up there.
That is great. We're talking to Monterey Mayor Bill Wiggins this morning about all the great things happening in Monterey, and you've also not only are the green with the solar panels and everything, LED street light project that you're looking at of making your street lights LED, I think.
Monterey is, if there's one thing we are up there, we're well lit. We have 349 street lights.
Just inside the city of Monterey.
Absolutely. And it was my desire to convert all those to LEDs. And we did some work with Volunteer Energy. They own the lights and the system. And they crunched some numbers for us, but with total conversion, Monterey can realize a savings of $43,000 a year on street light power bills.
That's big, Mayor.
It is big, but at any time in any city building or installation when a bulb blows, our guys are under instruction, replace it with an LED.
So that's an ongoing process.
It is.
And a huge savings to the city, and those LED bulbs last.
Oh, they have a long shelf life.
10 years plus on a lot of them. Tell me about Mariposa Gardens. Am I pronouncing that right?
Don't ask me to identify what it means. I say it with great confidence, Mariposa. But what happened here is I did some reading where the extinction of the monarch butterfly is imminent. And of course I've kept abreast a while now about honeybee populations are threatened. But you have other pollinators like hummingbirds and other insects, maybe bumblebees. And we got the idea that we would build what we call Mariposa Gardens. And those are populated with vegetation that these so-called pollinators love to patronize. So we built a couple of gardens on the farmers market property. It's a great place to come and watch butterflies and any of the hummingbirds. So on the Meadow Creek Park property, maybe in Whitaker Park, but wherever we have the landscape that we can do it, we will probably build more Mariposa Gardens and show that we are butterfly friendly.
And environmental friendly.
Absolutely.
Also
try to eat. Try to set your table without pollinators.
You can't.
No.
You can't. Well,
Be on a liquid diet.
that is absolutely great. We're talking to Monterey Mayor Bill Wiggins this morning with all the great things going on in Monterey, and we have one big one coming up on our next segment that you're all going to want to hear about. You're listening to Today in Putnam County on News Talk 107.7, 1400 The Hub. I'm Randy Porter, your host. More with Monterey Bill Wiggins coming up. Stay with us. Welcome back to Today in Putnam County. Hope you're having a great weekend. We're talking with Mayor Bill Wiggins this morning about the great things happening in Monterey. Mayor, probably the biggest that I know of, as much as we love all the buildings and everything, quality of life comes in Monterey. And you had a large donation made to you recently in a place that we call B-Rock. Tell us about what the city has planned for that historical site down with B-Rock.
When I was first elected mayor, a little over 4 years ago, I was on a mission to exploit our natural resources, and they abound in Monterey.
Absolutely.
Now, our centerpiece is in the form of a donation from Bobby Walker, Monterey native, who had a desire to give to his hometown this 10+ acres, which included I call it a bluff, other folks call it a crag, but it's known as B-Rock.
B-Rock.
So Bobby did that December 31st of last year. So that property, that 10 acres, is now in the hands of Monterey. Bobby, before he gave it to his hometown, entered into a conservation easement with Tennessee Parks and Greenways. So we're partnering with them to exploit B-Rock. In short, what we want to do is promote that as a must-see. It's a must-visit. And what we're basing that on is back in the early to mid-20th century, an acclaimed novelist and newspaper columnist, Kathleen Norris, visited B-Rock. And as she stood atop B-Rock and looked over that panoramic view of the great Caterpillar Gorge and Valley, she christened it the baby brother to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, wow.
Now, we're not going to reference a Grand Canyon. They can handle their stuff all on their own out west. But we're going to ride that for all it's worth. And what we plan to do is there's a 50-foot easement at the end of the county road into the B-Rock property proper. We will construct a rugged, we'll use this material called pug, no asphalt, pave a 2-lane road along that easement into the property. The Tennessee Parks and Greenways folks have designated a 1/4 of an acre that can be developed into a parking area. And in that parking area, we will erect a security light, a restroom. There will be a kiosk with all sorts of information in it. And then we'll go a little further to the base of where you start up the hill to go out on B-Rock. There'll be another kiosk for everyone's information. Some of those things in there will be cautions, like caution, uneven trail.
Right.
Don't go so many feet toward the edge of the rock. We don't want people taking flight off there.
Right.
But we're going to leave it as is for the most part. The only thing we can do in terms of vegetation is if a tree falls over the trail to the rock, we can take that out. But if a tree falls adjacent to the trail and it doesn't obscure anything, it has to stay
Just
according
part
to
of
the
nature.
conservation easement. Yes.
That is a beautiful place. A lot of folks have a lot of memories. That used to be a hangout back in the 50s and 60s. I don't know how far it goes back, but I know when we posted about that, the donation of B-Rock, and it's going to be city-owned, hundreds of comments about people and the memories that they've got of B-Rock.
Oh, mercy. I did a lot of courting out there. I became a Don Juan right there at B-Rock.
That's going to be a great tourist attraction, I think, for
It
folks
is.
to.
We know it will draw about 100. It does now.
to people to
But
come
we're
in.
going to promote the dickens out of it and make it just a must-see. You got to come here.
Well, that is great. Mayor, you are doing such a great job in Monterey. As I said at the beginning of the show, so many things happening in Monterey, so many good things now, probably more than I have saw in a long time in Monterey. And I commend you for the job you're doing. I know it's not an easy job being mayor. It's a public service. You're a public servant to the city of Monterey, and I appreciate what you're doing. And thank you for being on the show today.
Thanks, Randy.
We didn't get a chance to finish on all we need to talk about, so come back real soon, okay?
I'll be here.
Thank you, Mayor. It's time now for What's Happening, the part of the show where I keep you informed of some of the special events going on in our community. Wednesday, March the 13th at 5:30, Spring Carnival at the Cookeville First Baptist Church with bounce houses, games, food, and fun for the whole family. Best of all, it's all free. Saturday, March the 16th at 6:30, Murder Mystery and the Cookeville Movie Awards at the Saltbox Inn. That is sponsored by the Cookeville Sunset Rotary. Saturday, March 16th and Sunday, March 17th, a great event here in Cookeville that we have each year. It's the free medical, dental, and vision clinic, which is sponsored by RAM. It'll be at the Cookeville High School. If you have folks that are in need of free medical, dental, and vision, let them know. They can start lining up that night at midnight, and the doors open that next morning at 6 a.m. for all day. Friday, March the 22nd and Saturday, March the 23rd at 7 p.m. the Nitro Arena Cross motorcycle races, sponsored by Motorhead Events. It'll be at Tennessee Tech Heidelberg Arena on Gainsborough Grade. Should be some fun-filled nights. Saturday, March the 30th at 10 a.m., a new event, the Upper Cumberland Pet Expo at the Heidelberg Pavilion also. This is hosted by the Friends of the Cookeville Putnam County Animal Shelter. They're going to have pet vendors, vaccine, microchipping clinics, and much, much more. Check that out. Saturday, April the 13th at 6 p.m., one of my favorite events, the Cookeville Regional Charitable Foundation's Pink Gala. It'll be at the Leslie Town Center, and proceeds go to the free ladies mammogram program that allows women to have mammograms free of charge that can't afford it. Saturday, April the 20th at 10 a.m., the second annual adult Easter egg hunt at Delmonico Winery. Over 4,000 eggs filled with prizes. Check that out Saturday, April the 20th. And finally, on Saturday, April the 27th at 10 a.m., Made Here Market at the Biz Foundry on North Cedar here in Cookeville, showcasing artists and makers and creators from around the Upper Cumberland. If you have something you'd like to be mentioned on What's Happening, send it to me by message or email. Check out my website, randyporter.org, for more details on all these events. And finally, I'll leave you with something to think about. This past week, Cookeville Mayor Shelton and I formed the Multicultural Advisory Council. This group will help with the new people we have moving to our county. In the past 4 years, we have brought international companies to Putnam County from Italy, Spain, and now Brazil with our latest edition of luxury tile maker Portobello. These companies are bringing employees and corporate officers to Putnam County to live and work. We want to make sure these new people are welcome to our community and made to feel a part of it. Imagine yourself moving to a different state or country and not knowing anyone. We would all hope someone there would welcome and help us. So let's make sure we show our famous hospitality and welcome these new citizens to our county. That's our show for today. I want to thank again my guest, Monterey Mayor Bill Wiggins, for being here today. I hope you'll join us every Saturday morning at 10:30 for Today in Putnam County, right here on News Talk 107.7 and 1400 The Hub. Remember, you can also download the WHUB app and listen to us on your cell phone. If you missed any of our shows, go to my website, randyporter.org, where you can see all those and listen to those past shows. Also, don't forget to follow me on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm County Executive Randy Porter, hoping you have a great rest of your weekend. May God continue to bless our great county.